Me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Stand with Word Radio as we continue to provide dynamic, progressive programming to inform and empower our people. We're living in unprecedented times, and we must stand together to protect and preserve Black Talk Media. Become a 4Word member with the annual membership price of just $90 or a digital member starting at just $5 per month. If you're already a 4Word member, sign up, family member, or a friend to help us continue making history. Start or renew your 4Word membership today. Visit wordradio.com/4word or wordradio.com/membership. Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on Word Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L. O. G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hey there, family. Hello. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Welcome to Thriving Thursday, that is. I hope you are having an exceptional week. I really do. I really do. Hey, Nick. How are you doing today?
Hey, Carol, how you doing?
I will not complain. How about those Sixers?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's gonna be pretty good, man. You know, I think the stadium's gonna be packed.
I'm trying to be excited. You know, I'm really, well, I am excited. I am, because, you know, the conversations we were having the other day, I mean, they started getting a little grim. So I'm so happy I'm riding this wave. And to that point, congrats to the Sixers for winning Game 5. Hopefully they can do a repeat tonight. Did you see that the 76ers ownership and Fanatic CEO, Michael Rubin, bought more than 2,000 tickets to give to fans ahead of tonight's game? Did you see that, Nick?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. I mean, and a lot of them went to first responders,
Mhm.
nurses, firefighter, all these people who probably they're probably gonna be working, usually, but they
Yeah.
get these tickets and hopefully they get the night off and really get to show their support. It's like letting the people who really deserve it, have a seat at the game, and I think that's awesome. That's way better than having a bunch of Knicks fans in there.
Yeah. Wait, I was thinking that. I thought about that because of the conversation we had the other day. We talked so much about how the Knicks fans really trashed us. So I was happy to see that for so many reasons that he thought, he's going to give the tickets away. So happy about that. Happy about that, riding that wave. One other thing, did you see that Philly will soon ticket parked vehicles with illegal window tint? Did you see that? Did you
No,
see
I
that?
didn't see that. That sounds interesting because that's gonna be a lot of tickets.
That's what I thought. When I read it, I said that's going to be a lot of tickets. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because of a new ordinance signed by Mayor Sherelle Parker, which states that vehicles parked in the city could receive fines of up to $100 if the vehicle's window, if the tint on the vehicle is darker than the state law allows. For those of you who are saying, well, what does the state law allow? Well, it currently allows or requires that vehicle windows permit 70% of light contacting the window to pass through it. So there you have it. There you have it. Get on top of that tent, y'all. Get on top of that tent. Family, to those of you who are joining us on our socials, let us know. Share a message or a few, you know what we do here. Or you can even give us a call. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free. You can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. You know we love the love any way you care to share it. I tell you that every day because we do. Family, it's time for our Black History 365 moment. That's right. Today's Black History 365 moment is about Black History Month. Did you know? Today is the Did You Know Day, clearly. Did you know that Black History Month is observed during different months around the world? I did not know that. I'm going to be honest with you. I had no idea. The United States, Canada, and Germany observe Black History Month in February, as we all well know. However, what is it? It is observed during the month of October. Yes, in the United Kingdom, Ireland, and the Netherlands. Nick, I knew you knew that because you're a scholar and a gentleman. You knew that. I did not know that. So family, that is today's Black History 365 moment. Wishing a happy birthday to all of our love lights who are celebrating a birthday, sending you celebratory love and hugs, all that you can handle and all that we can muster in this moment. And I am personally sending extra love and hugs to all of our love lights whose lights are shining just a little bit dimly today on behalf of your entire tribe and village right here at Love and Life, because we want you to know that you are not alone and we got you. We are right here for you. Okay. I want to share something with you. Family, join Word Radio, Diverse Force, and P4 Hub for a special Philly Tech Week event hosted by Tech Life staff on Wednesday, May 8th. That's right. Artificial Intelligence, Black Realities is a tech networking event and live broadcast taking place from 6 till 9 p.m. at P4 Hub, located at 4537 Wayne Avenue, Suite 202 in Philadelphia. This conversation will examine the impact of AI on Black communities and will explore what opportunities and challenges this technology presents. Join us for networking, food, and fun during one of the country's longest running tech festivals. You do have to register for this event. Tell you that. Simply go to wordradio.com/Tech Week to reserve your free tickets. This event is part of Philly Tech Week and is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, and the Pennsylvania Lottery. Family, I see that some of you are checking in. Malcolm White shares that he's watching and listening from West Mount Airy. You know I love to see it. Nasir Butler, he shares Peace and blessings, family. We send them right back to you. We're grateful. Ruben Mills. Hi there, Ruben. Peace and blessings as well. And Yolanda Benitez. Hi there. She says, here in Dallas, Texas, we'd love to see it. Thank you, Love Light. And Willie Matthew Williams shares a happy Thursday to everybody. We love that too. We love it too. Yes, we do. So, family, let's get started. I want to introduce you to tonight's first guest. Her name is Hillary Doe, and she runs Philly Bolt, which stands for Build Our Lives Together. Now, I know some of you are saying, wait, that sounds familiar. It sounds familiar because our love light, Jude Hussein, mentioned Hillary to us. So Hillary's come to talk with us and share with us about Philly Bolt, which is a nonprofit that works to empower, cultivate, and support grassroots leaders to drive community-led change. Hillary dreams of a Philly where every neighborhood thrives, led by the people living there. Family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Hillary Doe. Hey there, lady.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you join us. I was sharing with Hillary, family, I'm going to tell you this. I was sharing with Hillary offline that when Jude was telling us about her, I said, well, where is Hillary? We want to talk with Hillary. We want to know more about Philly Bolt and what we can do, you know, to build our neighborhoods, to bring some of that goodness into our own light. So thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I've listened to segments where Jude was on and then also others as well. So it's really great to be here. I've heard so many great things from Jude herself. So it's really exciting to be on this now.
Oh, we love Jude. We love Jude. Hillary, I'm going to take a moment before we really dig deep into our conversation. One of our love lights is on the phone and is calling in to join the conversation. Hi there, Tyrone. So happy to hear from you. Welcome to the conversation.
Peace and blessings, my love.
Peace and blessings.
I know y'all can hear the children in the background because I'm parked right on a block where children are playing, on the street children are playing, in a village where children are playing, in a world where children are playing. And I'm just thanking for the children. And I just want to say to you, my sis, I don't know if it was mentioned, but today is National Prayer Day. And I just want to thank the Almighty for that wonderful gift that He has given each and every one of us. And it doesn't cost not 1 5 cents. And that gets LOVE. And that's why I thank God for you. Thank God for WURD. And thank God for the WURD family. Because with all the things that are happening around us, to us, we just need to have a moment where we can come together and just rest in peace and in God's grace and under this wonderful thing called LOVE. So just calling, and once again, thank you for being our love fest. Thank you for the many hugs, the joy, the wraparound, all the things that you do to make love real over the air, at the station, and wherever you go. And you know, sis, I'm going to close with I'm sending home the body of my sister, Crystal Quilo. A homegoing service this Saturday. And I'm just thanking God for this wonderful, God-filled, God-sent, beautiful person. She happened to be my sister. But even if she was not my sister, she is just such a gift God has given this world. So thank you, Kristen. Thank you, my love, for always allowing me to share. And I just thank these beautiful children because there are many blocks where children can't even play. So thank you, my love.
Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you so much. Always, 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 always. And we love you. Family, welcome. If you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking about love. We're talking about loving our community. We're talking about loving our neighborhood. We are talking in this hour with Hillary Doe, who runs Philly Bolt. Hillary, if you wouldn't mind, would you share with our family members just a little about you, please, before we get into Philly Bolt?
Yeah, so where to start? My name is Hillary, and I really love Philly. Philly has been home for me, and so right now what I'm working on is really building out Philly Bolt, which is focused on how do we support the residents who live in Philadelphia to really bring change, because what I saw that there were so many outside stakeholders who are coming into communities who might have good intentions, but oftentimes can create harmful consequences when they propose the wrong solution or don't really understand what is happening in the neighborhood. And there are so many incredible people in the neighborhoods who are doing really great work. So seeing that and really seeing the power of people when it comes to organizing and bringing change together, really wanted to figure out how do we invest in people who actually live in the neighborhoods to bring that change. And so that's what I'm focused on now with my work. And that's a little bit about me.
That's a lot. Thank you so much for that. Truly appreciate that. When Jude was sharing with us about Bolt, my excitement was high because it feels like another effort once again to bring us all together. And I'm always an advocate for that. Always a positive effort to bring us all together. So I was reading that Bolt, which stands for Building Our Lives Together, is focused on building people power in Philly. In what ways does Philly Bolt do that?
Yeah, so we have two programs. One is our Bolt School for Grassroots Leadership, which is focused on adult community leaders to build up their capacity. And then we have our Bolt Youth Leaders Fellowship, which is focused on supporting public high school students to build a pipeline of leaders in Philadelphia with lived experience. And so our Bolt School for Grassroots Leadership is an 8-month program where we pay community leaders to participate, making sure that there are no financial barriers to participation, but also understanding that the work they do is a valued job and really should be paid for it. And we want to make sure that they're equipped with everything from understanding how fiscal sponsorship, the nitty-gritty details of getting access to funding works, to organizing tactics, to understanding how the land bank operates in Philadelphia, and making sure that they can serve more people and be able to accelerate their visions. And then for young people, we're focused on really building out their foundation and connecting them to leaders in their neighborhood and giving them the chance to actually take action on bringing change.
So how does that work when you connect them to the leaders in their neighborhood? For the younger individuals, how does that work when you connect them to the leaders in their neighborhoods? Do you facilitate how does that process work? I'm about to ask about 5 questions when I could just ask one.
Yeah, so right now the way that it works is that we invite the leaders that we work with to come in and lead workshops for the young people we work with, and then hopefully they're able to continue staying connected even post-program. Some of our young people have gone on to find part-time jobs or volunteer opportunities with these leaders. Recently in one of the schools that we work in, we brought in one of the leaders we work with, Cleopatra Robinson, who runs a Home from Shauna Foundation, and she's focused specifically on addressing Black maternal mortality. And when she came in to talk about her work, there was actually a student who wanted to focus on that issue area for her senior project. So was able to connect with Cleo as her sponsor for her senior project, which was very cool. So creating more of those kinds of connections, and hopefully we can structure it even better in the future to really make sure there's stronger connections and the ability to really build that pipeline for the community leaders we work with. to find young people to continue to work with and support, and hopefully join their organizations in a paid capacity.
Oh, wow. That really does sound so involved. I'm telling you, I was trying to think of, trying to put in my mind, put this together, like, how does this work? What does it look like? But I mean, you guys really, well, I don't know what else. You really thought about this when putting this together, and I appreciate that. I truly do appreciate that. I want to share that our family members are sharing, in response to some of what I shared in the intro. Our love light, Cheryl Mobley Stimson, she shares, good evening, Word family. She shares, I needed one of those free 76ers tickets. I know, right? She shares she's looking forward to hearing about Philly Bolt, though. It sounds like a great concept. Alfred Evans is joining us, and he's sending love to everybody, as is our very own love light, Miss Audrey. She shares, good evening, everyone. Respectfully, and with a lot of love and respect for you, Mayor Parker. We are in more days of UV, ultraviolet rays. They are high. There are times when the brightness is a blind side. As it pertains to state legislation, 70% light must shine through. How can we have the state review and update standard via current change of sun brightness? Is that doable? I'll tell you, I was wondering about that as well, about how that conversation went. I know, I seem to recall, didn't we have this conversation some years ago about tint on the windows? Ms. Audrey, please help me with that, because I don't doubt that you would know better than I would, but I thought that this conversation had taken place some years ago too. So I was a little surprised to see that it had come back around the table, because I thought we had passed that. But in any event, I thought that was really, really of interest, because I see more cars nowadays with very dark tint. So we'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. And Alfred is bringing some comedic relief, because he's sharing, since we had that conversation on Tuesday night about the Knicks fans trashing us. He said they're not letting those Knicks fans in tonight. No, we are not. No, we are not. Okay. All right. Family, listen, we're talking with our love light, Hillary Doe. In this hour, we're talking about Philly Bolt. We're talking about the nonprofit that works to empower, cultivate, and support grassroots leaders to drive community-led change. We're going to take a commercial break, but know that the phone lines are open. They will remain open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. We will be right back.
Want the latest in word swag? Check out the shop tab on wordradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. It's the shop tab on wordradio.com. You can look good and show the world that you're all about Black Talk Media.
The Mother's Day Music Festival 2024, starring Kim, May 11th, 7 p.m. in Jim Whalen Boardwalk Hall. It's Kim with special guest SWV. Also on the show, it's Silk. And there's more with Drew Hill. The Mother's Day Music Festival 2024. Get tickets at Ticketmaster, Philadelphia Hair Company, and OP Productions in Delaware.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Tune into Afro Unity Beats Sundays at 5 p.m. hosted by Brother Shamari, David Barnes, and Patrick Atsadu. Afro Unity Beats features contemporary Afrobeat melded with the traditional African, Caribbean, and Black-rooted musical forms from around the diaspora. Check out weekly artists from different parts of the diaspora discussing the latest sounds from their part of the world and the history of their musical origins. That's Afro Unity Beats every Sunday, except the fourth Sunday at 5 p.m. only on WURD. Progressive Black Talk Media.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of Progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Hillary Doe in this hour, and she runs Philly Bolt. She was telling us a little about Philly Bolt just before the commercial break. So, Hillary, I do have a question for you. Can you share with us some examples of how the leaders Philly Bolt has cultivated have been able to affect change?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they're doing such great work. She got all of them on this segment, honestly. So where do I even start? I can keep going.
No, we want to hear it all. We love that.
There's Brian Harris, who runs As I Plant the Seed, based in Hunting Park. He's born and raised there, and he has built this community-led center called the Treehouse, which is where we actually host our School for Grassroots Leadership on Saturdays. And he built that from the bottom up. He actually stood at the intersection of Broad and Hunting Park several years ago to raise $30,000 when he saw that nothing was changing in his neighborhood. And he did that with a bucket, waiting for passing cars to come by. His neighbors came out for him. He did that for 3 days with no food and no sleep, which is pretty wild given that, there is so much wealth out there, and that, he was standing outside to be able to do that, no food, no sleep, to get the $30,000. But eventually he did get it, and he was able to essentially take this row home and make it into a community-led center that provides 10 to 15 free programs for young people in his neighborhood on a weekly basis. And they do everything from mentoring, called a Talk to Me program, to cosmetology. They have a music recording studio upstairs. They have like a nail salon downstairs. It's really fantastic. There's Ron Tolles, who runs Ordinary Heroes, which is actually just around the block, also doing really fantastic work in Hunting Park to provide young people with photography skills, group mentoring opportunities, also after school tutoring. There's Tahira Fortune, who runs weekly healing circles for parents who have lost loved ones, in particular to gun violence. And so she creates these healing circles as a space for families to be able to come together. There is Zarina Lomax, who runs the Apologues, who is using art as a space for healing. I could just keep going and going. Check out our website for more.
No, listen, we're interested in hearing all of this because, we're unaware. We are completely unaware. And I believe we did have Zarina as a guest when she did come to talk with us. She did come to talk with us and share with us about her artwork. One of our family members has a question. Alfred is asking, are the Philly Bolt leaders being developed from diverse communities?
Yeah, absolutely. Diversity is very important to us. And when we think about this work, it's definitely through the lens of diversity, but also justice. And what I mean by that is really thinking about, there's this great quote from Marshall Gans where he talks about the difference between charity and justice, where he says, charity asks, charity asks, what is happening and how can I help? But justice asks, why is this happening and how do I change that? So really making sure we're understanding the systemic issue and working with communities across Philadelphia to be able to bring that change at the neighborhood level.
Wow. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I believe we have a family member who is joining us on the phone lines. Hello and welcome to the conversation. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Hi, Carol, and to Word Family and to your guests. How y'all doing?
Hi, Friendly Fred. How are you?
Okay, I just want to say a family prayer right quick. The family prayer. God, our Father, loving and merciful, bring together and keep all families in perfect unity of love and mutual support, install in each member the spirit of understanding, my phone went up. The spirit of understanding, affection for each other, keep quarrels and bitterness far from them, and for occasional failures, install forgiveness and peace. And what I want and what we want, or whoever want, I like family-friendly music, family-friendly poems, family-friendly DJs, family-friendly shows, family-friendly children, family-friendly communities, and a family-friendly world. And all our stations are supposed to be family-friendly. So that's what I had to
Friendly
share.
friend, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Always for the positivity and for the love and for the prayer for us all. We appreciate that so much. Family, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Hillary Doe, who runs Philly Bolt, and she's sharing with us everything about Philly Bolt and how they're doing some amazing and magnificent things for our communities. Our family members are checking in and continuing to do so. Listen, you two are always welcome to the conversation. I know you have questions. I know you have comments. So feel free to share them. You can do so by calling us, or you can share during by way of social. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. You can share by way of socials. Feel free to do that as well. Alfred follows up his question with sharing. Hillary, you use the word systemic. To me, that represents policy issues. Does your group try to facilitate policy change to remove the systemic challenges? It's a great question.
Yeah, I would say policy is a huge component of this, which is why we do focus in a large part in our trainings on understanding how government operates, also the different entities within government as well, such as the Philadelphia Land Bank, which manages access to a lot of land in Philadelphia, and also understanding, how city council operates, how state government operates. But to that point, a lot of this is rooted in government and its ability to impact our communities as well. So, for example, next Wednesday, we are bringing approximately 40 young people to Harrisburg, to the state capitol to participate in this day that is really focused on why we need to increase public education funding. And as some of you may have heard, public education funding, that formula was declared unconstitutional by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. And we can see it, in Philadelphia and also across the state. But in Philly, for those of you who are here, how underfunded our schools are, with schools falling apart, how that impacts education, our communities. And so really making sure that young people understand how to be in those spaces and advocate for that change is critical for us. And I think there are other aspects of systemic as well. Philanthropy also plays a role, but then I also think about, there's this great quote from Dr. King who says that philanthropy is commendable, but we must not forget the economic injustices that made it necessary in the first place. And so there's also that whole sector and how it interacts. It's I think there are so many different aspects of it, and that's a really great question. Thank you for asking it.
I appreciate that question as well, Alfred. I'm curious to know what the criteria is to participate.
Yeah, so we're really looking for leaders who are really connected to their communities. In our Bolt School for Grassroots Leadership, we're looking for leaders who have committed at least 2 years of some kind of commitment to their community in terms of bringing change. That could be participating in leading an organization, or even just participating in some kind of mutual aid work in their community. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to have 501c3 or fiscal sponsorship or anything like that, because we recognize there are so many ways to bring change. And then for our young people, we're specifically working with public high school students in Philadelphia. So that's the age range, and looking for young people who really want to get involved and bring change in their communities.
So, and you may have said this, so please forgive me if you did and I missed it. But when you were sharing with us about some of the leaders who are doing amazing and wonderful things, was Philly Bolt a part of helping them to establish their organizations in any way? In addition to, and I should have said, I didn't mean to phrase it like that, but in addition to helping them with leadership, did Philly Bolt play a part in helping them to establish their organizations as well?
Yeah, so a lot of the leaders who come in already have some kind of, 501c3 status or fiscal sponsorship related to their work. There are a few who don't, and what we do is we support them through understanding how fiscal sponsorship works. So essentially, that is where you can essentially it's borrowing 501c3 status from an organization, and they do a lot of the back end work such as taxes, HR for you, and you can focus on the programming, and they take approximately a 10% cut of revenue, but then it opens the door for you to be able to get grants and donations, and really support the growth of your organization. And so we support some of the leaders we've worked with get onto fiscal sponsorship with fiscal sponsors that exist out there so they can get access to those funding points.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Is there an age requirement?
So for School for Grassroots Leadership, it's 18 and above. And then for public high school students, as long as they're attending a Philadelphia public high school, good to go.
I love that. Wow. So I was sharing with our family members when I read the blurb about you, Hillary. What exactly does a thriving Philly look like to you?
Yeah. So a thriving Philly, I think, we're very purposeful about using the word thriving because we want people to think beyond just living or getting by, but really think about what it would look like to have access to not just affordable, but actually high quality housing, to be able to be able to take your family out for dinner once a week at least, or be able to just have fun and take your family out for vacation a few times a year, and really be able to enjoy life, be able to see block parties more often, be able to have more community green space, but really creating a world in which we're not just focused on living or getting by, but really where people can be joyful and happy and really thrive in the environments that they're in.
I love that. I love that. Oh, family. Well, listen, y'all know I always have questions, and I have a ton every day for everybody. But I really am inviting you, as I always do, to the conversation. Know that you too can join the conversation. You can do so by calling us and dialing 215-634-8065, or you can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. I love the questions that you all are contributing to this conversation. I truly do. Because y'all know I can't think of everything. But remember, you can also continue to share your questions in the comment section as well. Harry, I see you, Harry. Harry, are you clowning? Harry Wims, our love light, is joining the conversation. He says, you got to work 2 jobs in order to thrive. You know what, Harry? No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah. Alfred is sharing, are you allowed to go into the high schools to make the students aware of the program of Philly Bolt? Many times the lack of awareness prohibits our youth from participating. I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been partnering with Philadelphia Public Schools to really make sure that young people are getting this opportunity during the academic year, and really making sure they understand opportunities during the summer as well. So we've been working with West Philly High School, Sayre High School, and Academy at Palumbo. And we attended the job fair at Olney High School last week. So we're able to make sure that young people across the Philadelphia public schools understand this opportunity and how to get involved. But yeah, awareness is a huge key point.
Yeah, I was, thank you for that, because I was wondering too, like I was saying, I shared that I was unaware of Philly Bolt, and I was wondering how you all communicate to the public that the organization exists, because it's an awesome organization, and you all are doing such great things. You were sharing, so you said, are both programs 8-week programs?
So our School for Grassroots Leadership is an 8-month program. So it's quite a commitment.
Difference. I was about to say, yeah. Hillary, wait, because I was thinking 8 weeks. Well, what do they do in 8 weeks? I was about to ask you to break that down for me, but I'm so glad you clarified. No, not 8 weeks, 8 months. So
yeah. It's 8 months with 100 hours of social impact curriculum and instruction. All the leaders receive one-on-one monthly executive coaching twice a month. And then we also do quarterly programming where our alumni come back and meet the current participants, and there's opportunity for continued learning and collaboration. And then for our youth program, it's year-round, split between the academic year and the summer. And during the summer, it's approximately 6 weeks. During the academic year, we've been doing it primarily from winter to spring, but we hope to be able to expand into the fall and really support young people throughout the school year.
Wow. Okay, that is awesome. That is, I'm so glad you clarified that for me, because I was thinking, 8 weeks. How do they break that down?
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with our love light, Hillary Doe, in this hour. She runs Philly Bolt, which is an acronym for Build Our Lives Together. I so love that. I love the effort. I love the intention, even more so, because we all need it. That's love at its core, working together and to build a neighborhood, a community where we can thrive. I'm prayerful that even more of our schools and our neighborhoods are made aware of the efforts that you all are doing. Family, listen, it's time for us. Well, actually, no, we've got a couple minutes. Let's go to our socials for a moment. Alfred shares our youth need that outreach that Philly Bolt is providing. Yeah, they absolutely do. Absolutely do. And Cheryl Mobley Stimson, she shares who's on the board. How long has the organization existed? And how long have you lived in Philadelphia?
Yeah, so Philly Bolt has existed since 2021. That's when I piloted the first youth program, and then we were able to pilot our adult program starting in fall of 2022. So we're in our second cohort now, which is pretty exciting, and we hope to be able to continue expanding that. As for who's on the board, we have really incredible board members. Some of them include Ruben Jones, who runs Frontline Dads, Pedro Rodriguez, who does a lot of work, especially in the immigrant community, and just founded actually a coffee brand, which is really exciting too. And Danielle Laguerre is our board chair. She is also very much, someone who's connected to Philadelphia, grew up here. And then we also have Adan Morena, who does a lot of great work in West Kensington through the West Kensington Ministry, which he is the pastor of. And then we have a few other board members too that you can learn about on our website at phillybolt.org. I've been in Philly for, I guess, the majority of my life, but I did leave for college, and I also left for graduate school. And I also spent some time in between in California. And so coming back here has been really important to me, and it's been nice being back in a space that is home. In terms of more information about the work that we do, you can visit our website, which is phillybolt.org. You can learn more about our team and then also our board members there, as well as our programs. I would also recommend checking out our Instagram at Philly Bolt to kind of see our work in action and to really meet some of the leaders that we work with, both the youth leaders and the adult community leaders in our School for Grassroots Leadership.
Yeah, I believe Jude is also on the board, isn't she? Is Jude also on the board for Philly Bolt?
Yeah, Jude's actually on the team. So she's been doing really great work. Yeah, so she's on the staff side.
Our beloved family, we're going to take a short break, but we are coming right back. Stay with us.
Hey there, this is Tech Life Steph, and I want you to join me for a special Philly Tech Week event hosted by Word Radio, Diverse Force, and P4 Hub. On Wednesday, May 8th, I'll be moderating a conversation called Artificial Intelligence, Black Realities. This panel and tech networking event are taking place from 6 to 9 p.m. at P4 Hub, 4537 Wayne Avenue, Suite 202 in Philadelphia. We'll examine the impact of AI on Black communities and explore what opportunities and challenges this technology presents. We'll focus on how AI can reinforce systemic racism, but also how AI literacy can empower us as a community. You do have to register for this event. Go to wordradio.com/techweek to reserve your free tickets. This event is a part of Philly Tech Week and brought to you by Comcast, Pico, and the Pennsylvania Lottery. Hope to see you there.
Every day, thousands of Comcast engineers and technologists like Oluseyi put people at the heart of everything they create.
Some of my favorite moments throughout my life are watching sports with my dad. Now I work at Comcast as part of the team that created our AI highlights technology, which uses AI to detect the major plays in a sports game.
And now, millions of sports fans will never miss a moment. Visit ComcastCorporation.com to learn more.
Donors choose. Support a classroom.
Build a future.
Did you know that every year, public school teachers spend nearly $500 of their own money for student supplies? Let's do the math. That comes out to over $1.2 billion a year. And that's just not right. At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your help. Here's what you can do. Go to DonorsChoose.org and choose from teachers' requests that support reading, math, science, history, and more. Once a request is funded, we'll take care of shipping everything directly to the teacher. It's that easy. You'll receive thank you letters and photos from students and teachers and a report of how every dollar was spent. Teachers' needs have never been greater. Learn more at DonorsChoose.org.
Donors choose. Support a classroom.
Build a future.
Tune in this Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. for the Islam Today show with a perspective on moral guidance and Islamic principles and values.
Stand with Word Radio as we continue to provide dynamic, progressive programming to inform and empower our people. We're living in unprecedented times, and we must stand together to protect and preserve Black Talk Media. Become a 4-Word member with the annual membership price of just $90 or a digital member starting at just $5 per month. If you're already a 4-Word member, sign up, family member, or friend to help us continue making history. Start or renew your 4-Word membership today. Visit wordradio.com/4word or wordradio.com/membership.
No, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
And we are back. Welcome back, family. Welcome back to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with our love light, Hillary Doe, in this hour. She runs Philly Bolt. That's Building Our Lives Together, which is a nonprofit. So before the commercial break, she was sharing with us the website. I'm going to ask if you would share the website and the socials once again for our family members who may have missed that information.
Yeah, absolutely. So Philly Bolt's website is just phillybolt.org, and that's BOLT, like a thunderbolt. So phillybolt.org. And our Instagram page is at Philly Bolt. So same, very easy to be able to follow. Okay, perfect. I see it dropped in the chat. Amazing.
I'm going to put that, and the website is now in the chat as well. The Instagram and the website are both in the chat for those of you who are following us on socials. And for those of you who are listening, I hope you caught that, because if you didn't, just email me. I will share that with you. loveandlife@wordradio.com. That's right. So what can we do? Is there anything that we can do to help the organization and to help further the mission and the cause of the organization?
Yeah, I would say getting involved with the leaders in the Bolt School for Grassroots Leadership is really great, because at the end of the day, what we hope to do is really work ourselves out of a job. And what that means is that everybody in our programs has access to all the resources, network, and capital that they need to be able to accelerate their visions and get to their visions so much faster. And that includes both our young people and the adults we work with. So just getting more people to support and be on board and get out the word about who's doing the work in these neighborhoods would be really helpful to us, because then you get to put us out of a job. And the hope one day is that we'll be working for one of these leaders and they'll be cutting us a check instead. And so that would be really helpful. We also have an end of year event coming up to celebrate the grassroots leaders that we're working with in our second cohort. That's going to take place on Saturday, May 18th from 1 to 4 p.m. And then there's a sliding scale for tickets. 100% of donation proceeds from the tickets will actually be distributed and split among the leaders in the program to continue supporting their work post-program. So if you're available that day, you can learn more about that on our Instagram page. It's pinned at the very top, and we hope you'll be able to join us.
So wait, you said where will the event take place? And
the Center for Design Philadelphia at 12th and Arch. So it's a really big, beautiful open space. Our youth advisory board, so public school students who are really helping with the internal mechanisms of the organization and helping hold us accountable. They have built out collages of the leaders that are doing the work in these communities that we're going to be sharing in this space as well. And the leaders will speak a bit about their work. So if you're available, would love for you to join.
Awesome. Alfred was sharing with us a suggestion. He has a suggestion for a pharmacy technician program.
Yeah, I would love to learn more about it. I think there's also a lot of great workforce development programs in the city in general, and getting more people aware of, careers such as as a pharmacy technician or beyond is really critical.
So now, you know what? I did not ask you this because I've been sharing with our family members that you run Philly Bolt. Is this your brainchild?
Yeah, I founded it. So founded it in 2021 and started the pilot program. It's been a really fun journey.
Okay. Oh my goodness. First of all, thank you for that, because I was unaware of that. And all the information I was reading, like, okay, who started it? So from where did your inspiration come to start this program? Since you shared with us, you traveled so much and you were doing so many things elsewhere. From where and why here?
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of reasons, I think, which is, one is I think I feel very lucky to have gotten access to educational institutions that have provided me with a lot of support and resources. And it makes me think about, why doesn't everybody get access to this? Why doesn't everybody get access to building, theory of change, logic model, and understanding how fundraising operates, fiscal sponsorship, all of that, especially the people who are the most impacted and doing the work in their neighborhoods. And then I think also for young people too, I think there's a lot of just gatekeeping of information, a lot of untold history in Philadelphia, how systems operate that isn't being shared, and wanted to make sure we're connecting more of that knowledge to the next generation. So part of our program, what we do is we bring them on field explorations and really learn about, for example, the history of Black Bottom in West Philly, which is now known as University City, after the universities used eminent domain to be able to displace over 5,000 Black residents. And they meet with Dr. Walter Palmer, who's working to preserve that history, learning about Cecilia Moyep, who's known as the godmother of Chinatown, and who really organized to make sure that the local church and school wasn't being demolished during the expansion of the Vine Street Expressway, when government also used eminent domain to be able to claim a lot of that land. And I also saw, I think, through a lot of experiences of being in social impact and also trying out the business space for a while, that there's so much power in people, and people is really how we hold others accountable. But even outside of that, there's so many incredible people who are just building out their own work in their communities, whether it's providing those services around mentoring, providing community gardens for access to healthier food, whatever it may be. And how do we continue to support that? And just logically, it made sense of, if we support the residents who are in the neighborhood, that's how we really build sustainable change.
So how do you all determine who will participate in these programs to ensure that there's enough diversity, if you will?
Yeah. So they go through like an application process. There's an interview process. Our board participates in it as well, which also consists of community leaders. And then, in terms of what we're looking for in participants is making sure that they're really connected to their neighborhoods. We're looking at neighborhoods across Philadelphia, but really also making sure we can connect the young people we work with to these community leaders that are operating within the proximity of their neighborhoods. And then for our young people, really looking at public school students, who are very much connected to their communities as well. And that's specifically focused on Philadelphia public high school students.
I see one question. Well, Alfred is sharing that he's going to contact you. He would like to know if there's an email on the website so they can reach out to you about these programs specifically. And Cheryl is asking, what priorities have been established for Black communities? How diverse is your leadership?
Yeah, and so, that's really important to us. Philadelphia is, I feel like people always now are using the term that's a majority minority city, but I don't like to use the term minority because I think, it doesn't quite capture the fact that like what, race actually looks like and what representation looks like in the city. But, the point is that it is a majority city of people of color and communities of color. And it's really important that we center Black voices in this movement as well, especially given, the history of Philadelphia. Like I talked about the history of Black Bottom. And so, in terms of priorities, we have Shakira King, who is on the team, who does a lot of work around making sure our young people understand local Black history. She teaches lessons about Octavius Cato, for example. A lot of the young people we work with don't know that, the history of Octavius Cato, despite the fact that that statue is at City Hall.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I
Yeah.
I did not know that. But go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And so, it's so critical that a huge feedback we got from our young people is why aren't we learning a lot of this in schools when we first started doing our summer program, which is why we pivoted our academic year program to partner more with schools to make sure that they're getting this knowledge. But, in terms of that curriculum, we also talk about the 1967 Black student walkout. A lot of young people don't realize that happened within the school district. Yep. Yeah. And the power that young people have.
I'm so sorry to interject. I'm looking because the hour is closing, but we have one more question. One of our family members is calling on the line, if you don't mind. Hi there, Rick. Rick is calling from Germany. Thank you for calling and welcome to the conversation.
How you doing, ladies?
Doing well, thank you.
And hello to Miss Doe. I am living here in Europe, and I am eating so many tomatoes that are shiny, bright red, and taste of plastic. Tell me more about your community gardens program.
So we don't have a community gardens program, but the leaders we work with, some of them have a community gardens program. And so what we do is we work to support the capacity of those leaders so that way they can continue to grow their services for their neighborhoods. And the idea is to eventually work us out of a job, and then they have everything they need. In terms of, community gardens that they're building, Ordinary Heroes has a space that they've built that's, starting to really take shape as a community garden. And they have a food pantry where they're offering food as well. But the idea is to be able to connect more people in the neighborhood to those healthy food options. And then we actually just had a session led by the Public Interest Law Center about community gardens specifically. So for leaders who are looking to build more community gardens or even start their own as the first one, they understand how land acquisition works in the city and how to navigate that and really make that a possibility.
Thank you, young lady, for your work.
Thank you. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you also, Miss Riddick, for having this young lady on. It's a breath of fresh air from the Trump news and the excitement on the college campuses of the current moment. Thank you both.
Thank you so much, Rick. Hillary, I really echo what Rick said, and our other family members. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. Thank you for starting this here. Thank you for helping us, good and grown adults, and our babies. It's really appreciated. It is truly appreciated. And Jude did share with us, some of the members as well as you, about who your board members are. Amazing, amazing individuals. And I look forward to hearing more from you all, doing some things with you all. And we look forward to you returning. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with us. Will you come again?
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you so much.
Yay. All right, family. Here we are. It's time for us to take a commercial break and to let Hillary go. We've held her hostage. But she said she would return, so it was a good time. So family, stay with us because we're taking this commercial break, but we are coming right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on The Source.
When you work with integrity, it's less about the money and more about the achievement, more about the access to making sure that people have a better life. That's what it is about. So I tell people all the time, at this stage in my life, you want me to come speak? Don't ask me to do it for free. Please don't. As people that live here in this city and beyond, especially when you ask Black people to come and do things, don't assume they're going to do it for free. It is disrespectful, and it's insulting. We have to get to a place where we build authentic relationships and stop holding grudges because she said something that I didn't like. Be a leader, suck it up and say, maybe there's some truth to what they've said to me, and maybe I need to look at myself and be introspective, but don't turn around and be petty, because that pettiness is going to get caught up with you. I promise you. Man, cut it out. You have one life. Time is something you cannot buy. It's something you cannot get back. So take what time you have to do what you need to do to get where you need to go to. That's all I'm going to say.
And that's the hottest 60 seconds this week on The Source on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Until people come before profit. Until all energy is clean. Until the wild is truly free. Earth Justice will never rest. Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the planet and its people for nearly 50 years. Earth Justice has 150 full-time lawyers fighting in court for our planet's future and representing all clients free of charge. No one fights more cases on the environment than Earth Justice. And we win because these are fights we cannot lose. Until justice stands for all, Earth Justice will never rest. If you share our restless spirit and want to commit to fighting for a just and equitable future for everyone, go to earthjustice.org/neverrest. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Get on board.
The water is open. It's time to go boating and fishing and leave stress in our wake. Feel the wind as we ride and a fish on the line. Reel in our first catch and feel the sun at our backs. It's get out on the water season. It's time to get on board. Find out where to get on board near you. Visit Take Me Fishing and Discover Boating to learn more. And please recreate responsibly.
Get on board. Get on board.
Tune in for a weekly perspective on handling legal situations that plague the growth and social stability in our region. Check out Radio Courtroom with Michael Cord, Saturdays from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We are the home of Progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, welcome back, family. Welcome back to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So here we are. You know what today is. It's Thursday, so you know what that means. It's ThurZdayz with Dr. Z, our very own. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, I will tell you, Dr. Z is Dr. Zenida Driver. Yes. She is the executive director for Sunrise Community of Pennsylvania. She's a lifelong student of human behavior and social interaction with well over 15 years of experience in the field of human services. She received her doctorate degree from Eastern University and serves as an adjunct professor for several esteemed universities. Family, I invite you to the conversation with our beloved, our love light, Dr. Z. Dr. Z.
Hello. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Can't complain.
I don't know if you were able to catch any of our first hour, but we had an amazing guest in our first hour, and she's doing some amazing things, some amazing work in Philadelphia. It's awesome. But we're always happy to have you. Always happy to have you here.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
So there's never a dull moment when you visit.
It's never a dull moment. And tonight, we're going to have a hot topic conversation.
Okay.
Around something that is very controversial. So we will see how tonight goes. So tonight we are going to talk about, you ready, Carol?
I don't know.
When is it ever appropriate, or if it's ever appropriate for us as African Americans or Black people or people of color, however we identify, to use the N-word in conversation?
Oh, okay. Okay. I did see that Niall sent a video to me.
Yes.
You have a video. I did not watch it.
Let's watch it.
Okay. Family. Well, let's dig in.
A very deep question to ask non-Black people, people of color, whether you're Asian, Hispanic, or white. Why haven't you embraced your racial slur that applies to your race or ethnicity like Black people have? Why do you insist on saying my or using the N-word amongst each other or around other Black people? Because it's 2024, and here on Google, you can find on Wikipedia a list of ethnic slurs that applies to your race and ethnicity. And I would share all of them that I found, but we're on TikTok. And the people at Wikipedia, they even put it in alphabetical order for you. And I thought about this question because I was on the bus the other day. There were a whole bunch of Hispanic teenagers that came on the bus, and immediately they started saying my N-word this, my N-word that to each other. Like, why aren't they saying my? And that lame excuse as to why you use the N-word is so tired. The one that you say, oh, well, I was raised around Black people. Well, if you want to use that logic, those Black people were raised around you. So the same way you can use the N-word around them, they should be able to use your racial slur around you. And I challenge Black people who have Asians, white people, and Hispanic friends that use the N-word to ask them, why are they so uncomfortable using the racial slur that applies to their race and ethnicity, but they're very comfortable using the racial slur that applies to you?
All right. You're muted, Dr. Z. Wait.
I said, now you see why I said today was going to be a hot topic.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Let's dig
in. So when we think about the N-word, right, it is unique in the English language. On one hand, it's considered an insult because it's connected to our ancestors, our generation of those who were tormented, and that word was connected to them. However, now, which is why it's becoming more controversial, in more recent time, in more recent years, it has moved from it being considered an insult to now being considered a term of endearment, some way that I greet someone who looks like me, a friend. And so now some people feel like this is disrespectful to our descendants, to those who fought and went through so much blood shattering around that word and when they were existing during that time, to now, as she was alluding to in the video, us embracing it for a word that means something positive or something that connects us to someone who looks like us.
Family, I'm going to invite you to join this conversation. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Well, I'm always honest with you all, but I have never been comfortable with that word. Never, ever, ever, never. I have never seen it as a term of endearment, and I never will. I know they say never, but never. I will never see it as a term of endearment. I will never hear it, feel it, believe it to be, or even accept anybody using it as a term of endearment. I don't care for it. I think it's inappropriate in every situation. No, just no, nope, negative. That's my 2 cents for this conversation. And I feel myself getting a tad bit upset as we talk about it now because of the negative connotation it carries, but also for as long as that word has existed, it's been nothing but negative in our existence. Okay, all right, family, let's see what you're saying. Malcolm shares, hey, Dr. Z. He shares, oh, okay, buckle up. Well, exactly. Alfred shares, bring it. Well, it's never appropriate, he shares. It's never appropriate, but stuff happens amongst us. Yes, it does, but it's never appropriate. Ms. Julie shares in reply, not. I am not with the folk that every other word is the N word, nor am I, Ms. Julie. We're better than that. Can we regroup from undermining one another? If that's cool. And Alfred, as a matter of fact, I looked up the definition while the video was playing. For that particular reason, I will share the definition. I'm going to go through the family's responses. Let me gather myself, because but I understand her point. Our love light Joanne Dormond shares never. Malcolm shares no. I may curse at times, but that is the one word I do not throw around. I'm with you. Our love light Joanne shares, over the years, I think we unfortunately normalize things that can be detrimental to us. It seems we sometimes allow these negative words and actions to become mainstream. Some of it is our fault. I do agree with that too. And Alfred agrees with my way of thinking. I do agree with that. I do agree that we carry a lot of the responsibility for the word having the weight and power that it does, and for the way that it has changed, the use of it has changed, because we always admit, and we agree that we don't educate our babies enough. They don't know enough about what our ancestors lived with and through. They don't know enough about why they have some of the freedoms that they do have nowadays. They don't know enough to know that that is a negative in any way, in any circumstance, any instance. They don't know enough to know that, which is why I feel this is my own personal opinion, which is why I believe and feel that it's become, there's been some comfort attached to using the word itself. But let me not do all the talking. Dr. Z, I'm going to be quiet.
But I think Alfred said it best. I think we start with looking at the different definitions, because there's 3 concepts under this, right? So let's go there, Carol, and then we can keep on going on with the conversation around why is it not okay based on those definitions. So you have them, Carol?
I have one here in the English language. It is a racial slur, I will not say it, directed at Black people. Starting in the 1990s, references to the word have been increasingly replaced by the euphemism, the N-word. notably in cases where the word itself is mentioned but not directly used. That's one.
And then when we look at it, so Negro, right, just means Black person. However, when we look at the more derogatory term of it, which ends in ER, that is more of what was used for us back in the day with our ancestors, that was connected to the bloodshed and connected to what they went through. But now what's happening, which is now how people who are Black or African American are justifying the use of it, because they're saying, listen, we dropped the ER and we are adding an A. So the ER is the derogatory, disrespectful term for them. The A is more the endearment. This is my friend. This is someone that I love. And for them that I think it's okay or believe it's okay to use that term, they say, hey, listen, one has nothing to do with the other. There are two different words, but the root of it and the concern is that even if we use the term ending in A, it is created or derived from the ER concept. So they took a word, they changed it, and they made it more of a word that is acceptable, especially in the hip hop culture.
Well, it's not acceptable in any variation, any way they care to say it, spell it, think it, believe it. Not to me. It's not acceptable in any way. Nick has a comment. Nick, please join the conversation.
Oh, thank you. And hello there, Dr. Z. I just wanted to add a sentiment that a caller relayed to me, and that's that back in the day, Dick Gregory and Richard Pryor, they both seem to have, they seem to have popularized the word. I guess it wasn't as prevalent. Maybe people said it here and there, but perhaps their acts or routines made it more popular for it to show up a lot more amongst Black people and in the Black cultural zeitgeist.
I've never been comfortable. I have never been comfortable. I've just never been comfortable with it. I just haven't. I have never, ever, never any way that is used, nor by whoever it is used. And to the point of the woman in the video, which was a very valid point, why aren't there people of other ethnic backgrounds using what would be considered slurs to their own ethnicity as terms of endearment, as they like to throw around that word, that is so derogatory to us. That's a great point. A great point. I would love to know that. I would love to know the answer to that question. Malcolm shares even Richard Pryor stopped using that word after he went to Africa. I did read that. I did read that. And Malcolm also shares that it is also used to describe the male gender. We do have a family member that is calling. Welcome to the conversation, and thank you so much for calling.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Dr. Z.
Hi,
Before
Ron.
I make my comment, yes, ma'am. If I give it no life, it takes no life. If I don't speak that from which y'all talking about now, then I do not contribute to that negative stuff. Yes, it's good for conversation. We've been through this road before. It's good for talk shows and things like that. But I go back to me. If I don't give it no life, it has nothing to nurture on coming from me. But I want to take this time out to say to you and Cal and Dr. Z. Hope both family members are doing well. Auntie, your family member. And I want to give you this poem in the behalf of W.R. Malcolm and all the rest of the guys that call in. And this poem goes to both of y'all. This lovely bouquet, and I want you to travel with me in the theater of your mind. And here I am presenting this to you and Dr. Z. This lovely bouquet I'm holding, whose beautiful color blends, will bring happiness to a shut-in morning friend. And so I give flowers to both of y'all, you see. They are from Jesus too, you see. Even as you do unto others, he said, you also do unto me. The old question asked, going back to this question, I just thought about that. I thought about this. If a tree falls in the forest and you're not there to hear it, does it still make a sound? Do you know the answer to that? Well, you don't have to answer. Let me move on to something else. And once again, I'm looking at this thing today. I had a situation whereby I went to a business place that is funded by the state, the city government, in the city, and I put it to the attention of the people that represent that organization. I can handle myself very well. I am not so insensitive that I'm fragile and cracked. And and what I'm seeing in this country, why use this city today, are people like myself, men of color, are not being received and spoken to properly. But when I got finished down there today, I never attack the person that comes with the negative. I have learned a tactical approach. That a tactical approach is taken into the center of wherever I'm at. I don't need a bullhorn. And I did attract attention. And because of it, hopefully I have made, it will make a difference. And once again, maybe later on I'll speak about that, but I usually don't give negativity. It's no kind of way in the world that employees are beginning to treat people that come in those state-funded buildings, or either the employees that work in that building, and treat them with disdain. I can't prove one is a racist, but I certainly can prove my case. Irrepute behavior coming from these people. I see this in this country today. How do you justify that? And I know I'm sort of riddling, like, because you don't know specifically what I'm talking about, but I made them a promise. I said, I promise them not a threat, that I will bring it to the necessary, the necessary people that's over them to correct this type of behavior and take it out of that building. One man can make a difference. One woman can make a difference. Stand up for yourself. Do not entertain negativity. Entertain it. It's irrepute what we are facing in this country from some people that have no respect for the citizens. I am not a resident. I'm a citizen of this country.
Yes.
And I'm going to continue. I know I get excited. And I'm going to let the city know I'm not a privileged character. I'm not a character. And when I speak like I speak in front of these people, they can put any title they want on me. Oh, well, he's having a break. No, I'm having a spiritual uplifting with knowledge I have. I don't care what school they have been to. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring all your institution indoctrination, all the words that you learn in your dictionary. It will be meaningless to me because I'm going to win the victory. And you men out there, begin to speak up for yourself. Don't accept this nonsense what people are injecting you with. You haven't been in this country long enough. Some of y'all have been to your institutions of indoctrination. You must stand up. That don't mean that you're anti-no or somebody else. It's not only white folks that is treating all men and some all women the way that they are, like I've been treated today. Ron can handle himself very well. Very well. Thank you. I don't mean to go off on a Daniel and your show, Cal. Enough is enough. And I live for something because death comes anyhow. It's life common core denominator is death. But life is so important. That's why Love and Life is here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you so much. Family, we're waiting for your comments. When we come back from this commercial break, stay with us because we'll be right back.
Stay connected on the go with the new and improved Word Radio app. Search Word Radio in your app store. Stream every show with increased clarity. Easily access Word TV, EcoWord, and Livelihood. Start or renew your 4-word membership and buy Word swag. Remember, Black Media Matters. Get the new and improved Word Radio app today. Available on Google Play and the Apple App Store.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops, I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77. I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer. So I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you. What is lost when a home is denied, when equality is cast aside, when it discriminates against you because you're LGBTQ or because of your race, or the obstacles you face, deny you a lender because of your gender? Housing discrimination has no place in our nation.
Don't let housing discrimination stop you. If you believe you've been denied a home because of your race, color, religion, national origin, familial status, disability, or sex, including gender identity and sexual orientation, go to HUD.gov/fair housing. Everyone has a right to fair housing.
Tune in to Eco Word Magazine, hosted by POC, the first Friday at 10 a.m. for the PA Lottery Eco Word Fact of the Month. Brought to you by PA Lottery, benefiting older Pennsylvanians every day.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, progressive Black talk media.
I think I know what love is.
Welcome back, family. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Z because that's what we do on Thursdays. ThurZdayz with Dr. Z, that is. And Dr. Z has brought a topic for us today. Okay. She shared a video with us. In the video, a woman addressed the fact that there are individuals from other ethnic backgrounds that use the N-word. And she had the question, why is it so acceptable to us and to them to use a word that is derogatory to us and is a racial slur to us, and why the choice is not to use a racial slur of their own ethnic background. So we've been talking about everything, quite honestly, under the umbrella of the N-word. Ron shared just before the commercial break that we should not entertain the conversation about the word at all because he believes it gives it power. And I understand. I definitely understand that point of view. But I challenge you to add to that thought that it's used everywhere by so many in society. I understand not entertaining it, but it's right here. It's right in front of our faces and everything and with everything. So I think it's definitely a necessary conversation we should have. It's definitely.
I agree, because I also feel like sometimes it's so easy for people, especially people of color, to say it. As I was preparing and thinking about various things surrounding this topic, I was even reading an article and it talked about Jesse Jackson, and he called for a cease and desist of the N-word. Let me just say that, right? He said, we shouldn't use it anymore. Then I think a year later, he was caught. I guess he had a mic on and he was talking to, I guess, one of his male friends, and he used the word in referencing, I guess, the person in which he was talking to. So I guess why it's such a necessary topic, because sometimes it is a double standard. We know we shouldn't say it, but many people easily say it, especially when they're interacting with other people who look like them. Then we hear others who don't look like us say it. Then we get offended and feel like, no, they shouldn't say this. But truth be told, many people that look like all of us, or many of us, we think it's okay to say it. And so it sets this double standard mindset that makes it confusing for others. So whether are they allowed to say it, whether they drop the ER and only add the A, is it okay term?
We have a caller on line 1. Welcome to the conversation. Thank you for calling.
How's it going, ladies? Sister James, Dr. Z. As far as the word, hello?
Yes. Hi, James.
How's it going? I think I'm having technical difficulties here. Let me see. Yeah, as far as the word, everybody, I'm not going to say everybody, but as far as myself, I probably used the word when I was mad at something or somebody, like ninja, I can't, Um, it's definitely a word that should be abolished. I truly believe that. Because the next thing you know, they're going to be calling us Negroids. We got to watch out for the future and what it really means. And I, I don't know. I don't know how to make it happen. Yeah. But it's definitely a word that should be abolished. But as far as it being a cool, I may be wrong, but as far as okay, rewind back to hip hop. Okay, the hip hop culture. You had different songs. Some of our favorite songs had that word in there. So it's tough. It's tough. It's like we can't just take it out. It's deep. It's deep. I'm gonna just leave that alone. Just leave it alone.
Like you said, it is tough. It is tough because it's used so widely now. It's used in everything by everyone. So it is tough. But it's definitely a necessary conversation.
So we just got to fight towards just having it. It's going to be a tough one, though. But just got to do our homework. And I'm definitely going to do my part.
Well, thank you, James. Thank you for that.
All right. Love you, ladies. Love you all.
We all love you as much. Nick, I don't want you to run away from the conversation. We love it when you contribute. Please talk with us.
Yeah, hey Carol, I do want to try and answer Dr. Z's question because it's definitely an interesting question, and I can only speak from my personal experiences. I've been around other racial groups who have used their own racial slur amongst themselves, but it's what I've noticed is it's like how it used to be for us. Either people said it in a joking manner, they would never use it to flat out insult somebody because it's still an insult, it's still a slur. But they would say it. It wasn't something that they said every day or something that they always said to somebody that they knew. It was just they said it and then they both laughed about it, and they moved on. I think the issue with the N word today is what it used to mean in the past, what it means today, and how it's used now. It's kind of like water. It's incredibly fluid. It could be all these different things, and yet it still has that nasty history behind it. So you can't just go, oh well, I'm saying it like this, so it doesn't mean what it means. But words are words, and they can certainly have more than one meaning. Yeah, I've been around people use it as a term of endearment. I've used it as a term of endearment. But do I feel a different way if I hear somebody that's not black say it? Absolutely. So that's how I know that the word is not. It's not just as hey, everybody gets along kind of word. Anybody can use it. It's fine. It's got the history behind it, and no matter how we kind of soup it up or make it sound different, you're not going to be able to get away from that. And what I find is that really, it just kind of shows ignorance. The older people in my life, the older black people in my life, I almost never heard them say it. I mean, never, really never. And that told me that this is not a word that I should be saying around them. So I don't. The younger people, it's a little bit different. So it's kind of, they just say it whenever, but that's not something you'd want to say around grandma, right? Because you'll probably get an earful about what it really means. And, people, whether or not they want to listen, that's up to them. But yeah, it's using it shows how ignorant you are. And the difficulty with that is that everybody, I would say 75% of black people today in the US use it. I'm not sure which percent of other races use it because it's very prolific. It's you probably hear it every day if you listen to rap music. But I would say 75% of black people in the US say it, maybe more. And the thing is, what's different about it, now versus back in the day is that back in the day, and I'm talking way back in the day, you were called that by somebody who didn't like you, who didn't know you, who didn't look like you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the first time I ever heard it, I heard it being used at me by somebody who I'm pretty sure I was related to. And so for me, the way I was introduced to it, it didn't sound like a bad word to me. But when you understand the history of it, you would go, oh my God, why would anybody ever say this word? But it's changed. It's changed and yet remained the same. And so as somebody who uses it frequently, I got to tell you, there's a reason that you don't use this in a professional environment. It doesn't make you look smart. There's no way I can type up a paper and then, put a sentence in there that doesn't have quotation marks that has the word in it. And I go, yeah, that's how I want to end this sentence. That's what I wanted to convey. It's not a smart word.
No.
And you're not any smarter for using it.
No.
I think that's a great point. And as he said that, I wrote like a little note as I was thinking about when is it okay or is it ever okay? And I think one of the things I thought about is if we can keep the word in the context of our intimate environments, then maybe we can own the word and control it. But we can't, because the word takes on a new meaning. If we want to look at it through the concept in which Nick just shared, it takes on a new meaning when someone else says it. So because we can't control it, right? Because if we say it, other people think it's okay to say it. We can't control that. So because we can't control that, it has a new meaning when someone else says it, which then in turn is why it becomes offensive. Even if it's A or ER, it's still rooted out of ignorance and insult.
Absolutely. That's my whole point. It's the root of it. That's my whole point, which makes it unacceptable to me. Alfred shares, this is a needed conversation because the word, unfortunately, is thrown around, especially more so with the younger generations. Pastor Daniel Black, welcome, Pastor Daniel Black. He shares the rap music in our culture has normalized the word. And our love light Joanne Dormond shares, I hate it. It never sounds nice and it's unacceptable. Our beloved Miss Lily shares, I despise the N-word, as do I. Joanne shares, Joanne Kemp, she shares, just think, this is another way we allow ourselves to be disrespected by disrespecting ourselves. So it seems be lured into accepting less for ourselves. That's a great point. Just a great point. Alfred shares, he agrees with Ron that we should not entertain the word, but we must address it because it is used in society. He shares, Dr. Z, I'm glad that you brought this difficult topic to be addressed. And he follows his comment by sharing that it should be removed and abolished from all of society. And Malcolm shares, even with a couple of racist encounters with white men, military and a classroom setting, they never had the nerve to say it to his face. So it's disheartening to me that so many of our youth are comfortable. And like Nick, as you were sharing, that it's fluid. It is so fluid. But it is disheartening and hurtful to me that there is a level of comfort.
Yeah, and I don't even know if we could just say our young people, Carol, because truth be told, if we look, if we're honest, as Nick just shared, even adults, I mean, they use it too, and they use it as a term of endearment. Especially, I think someone said, if it's men to men, brother to brother, it's a form of how I greet the person that I am interacting in a conversation with, how I let them know that, hey, you're connected to me, I'm connected to you. So I don't even know if we're honest, if it is only more so the younger generation. I know we see it more with them because of the music that they listen to and they hear it, but I don't know if it's just safe to say that it would be more of the younger people, because I know adults our age and up that even use that term.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Dr. Z. Thank you for that correction. You are so right. Fahim Gori, Hi there. Thank you for joining the conversation. Shares that location factors in also. He writes, I was way more sensitive to the work growing up in the South, to the word. I was way more sensitive to the word growing up in the South. Since I've been in the Northeast, I don't feel the same sting from it. That's understandable. I imagine. Yeah, I definitely, I imagine. And I didn't think about that as well, location. But you're right, Dr. Z. Thank you for that correction. And Nick, thank you for that correction, because our adults are just as comfortable as our youth using the word.
And Carol, if I could just say one more thing about as far as the youth and using the N word, is there's some kids who are exposed to it so early that they think of themselves as the N word before they think of themselves as Black. And that's how early that they're hearing it. So to them, being the N word, being Black, they're synonymous. They're the same thing. And so how do you teach somebody like that it's like, no, there's a difference, but to them, they can't see the difference. They've been hearing it for so long that they think, well, that's a synonym, which it isn't, but that's how they would see it.
My God.
And I think that brings up what you were sharing earlier, Carol, the importance of educating. I don't even want to just say young people, educating people in general, or just reminding people in general where this came from, where was it rooted from, how did we get here? And then as we think about what can we do, I think the caller talked about what can we do? We have to begin to do that self-reflection. Where is this coming from? Why am I saying it? What is this about? Is it that I don't have a better word to use in this moment? I know growing up, they say people use a lot of curse words because they don't have any other words to use. Where is it coming from? Is it just a learned behavior? Is it lack of knowledge? Is it just it's a word that now for so many don't have meaning to it because it lost the connection to what it once meant in the past as it relates to our ancestors and our generations before us.
How about that, family? Hi there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. It is Thursday. So we have Dr. Z with us, and Dr. Z has brought a topic today. Yes, she has. We're going to take just a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to go back to the video, and we're going to continue this conversation. And I do see that we have some comments on our socials. Well, guess what? We're going to cover all of that. So stay with us because we are coming right back.
Hey WRD family, I'm Eric.
And I'm Kai.
And this is Unpacking, a weekly pop culture and wellness show from a Black queer perspective.
Here we're going to be sharing stories, spilling tea, and unpacking the issues that matter most to our community.
Tune in every Saturday night from 10 to midnight here on 96.1 FM or 900 AM.
Unpack with us while you unwind from your day or get dressed to head down to the bar.
Either way, come on y'all, and let's unpack.
Tune in to Unpacking, Saturdays at 10 p.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Passagen believes solar energy should be accessible and affordable for all. They are proud to support Word Radio and to be a part of their efforts to reduce environmental injustice that have impacted Black communities for far too long. Learn more at Passagen.com. Passagen.com.
For the longest time, it was hard for me to even get out of the house. It took me a bit to understand what was going on, but eventually I learned I had anxiety. Now I'm getting help for it.
Mental health care is working. See what it can do for you at mentalhealthcareworks.org.
Tune in this Friday, May 3rd at 4 p.m. for a special conversation on being biracial. This conversation features podcast hosts Darylise Lyons and Malcolm Burnley and moderated by WURD's own general manager, Ashanti Martin. This will be a provocative discussion about identity, belonging, and a variety of biracial and multiracial experiences. That's a special broadcast on Being Biracial, Friday, May 3rd at 4 p.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
And we are back. Welcome back, family. Welcome back to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Z in this hour because it's Thursday, and that's what we do. Thursdays with Dr. Z. I'm going to go to our socials first and read your comments before we backtrack. I love like Lily shares, Brother Nick, I am certain that less than 30% of us utilize the N-word. Another thing, I'm also perplexed as to why some Afro-American females address one another as the B word, as a form of endearment. I would really like to know why. And let me continue. Malcolm shares, I'm glad I grew up wrapped in the red, black, and green flag, the Black Power movement. So that sense of pride was instilled in me. And Fahim Gori shares, that's the irony. The word was created to hurt. The young people not being connected to the history of the word kind of takes the power out of it. Exactly. Our beloved Miss Julie shares, Dr. Z, do you also have a video about the B word? A whole nother topic for sure, but it's very disturbing to hear women call one another the B word in a song. I agree. Oh, it hurts. I agree. Our beloved Joanne shares, well, some of the young people, some agree it's okay to call women the B word. We even call friends dog. A lot of the rappers incorporate these words in their songs. It sells, I guess. We can definitely do much better. What she's asking, anyone see any of the videos of a guy from Philly named Big Reed? No. And she follows it by sharing, when it was used way back, the sound was damaging. It was hurtful. It was very hurtful. And Joey Dixon is joining us and shares that this is a very interesting topic. Thank you all for contributing and being here. One love. So Dr. Z, that's a whole nother topic.
That is, but I think it's still all rooted in this. It all has roots in the same. One, I will say the hip hop culture, the social media culture has normalized so many things that is just not okay. That ultimately just takes away from our character, takes away from our being and our existence. And unfortunately, we have normalized. It has helped so many of us normalize, well, not us, others, I would say that, normalize things that's not okay. And you're right. If you go on social media, if you listen to some of the hip hop songs, that word is used very often to describe women. But when we talk about things being a double standard, women can say it to women, but if a man says it to a woman, it's ultimately considered the ultimate disrespect. So we have to really be careful because language is important. And if we don't want someone saying it to us, why are we saying it at all?
I never liked it. And I remember, and when I was reading that comment, I remember when I was in high school, it was common, it was popular for what was popular for the white young ladies to call each other. That's how they were referred to each other. And she said it to me one day and I corrected her. I am not, nor will I ever be. Because I've never liked that. There's nothing cute about that. That's not cute. It's not a compliment. It's not cute. And it's like, why? I've never understood why anybody would think that would be something to say to why, in any event. Y'all see, I'm upset. Dr. Z got me fired up.
Before we started, Carol, I gave the disclaimer.
I'm trying to keep myself together over here. Oh my goodness. Malcolm shares that he's guilty of using the B word out of anger toward a woman. Not a good look. I know. Yeah, Malcolm, I'm going to beat you. Okay, with the wet noodle. Don't do that. Don't do that again. But yeah, I'm not even out of, that's not, I may have thought it, but it didn't come out of my mouth. I'll say that. I may have thought it. I will be honest. I did, but no. In anger, I have thought of the B word in anger, but it didn't come out of my mouth. But still, Dr. Z.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll find something. I'll find something better. I gotta talk to now. We'll find something. But it is a relevant conversation, and I appreciate it because we do need to raise awareness. We do need to be mindful of how we interact with each other, right? Because there's so much power in language and what we say, and so calling each other bees or calling each other the N word. How is that uplifting us? How is that making us feel better? And my big thing is mental health. In a world where we're already dealing with so many things, adding that to it doesn't make us feel much better about ourselves. And so being mindful of our language is so important.
It's so true because words have power.
Mhm.
Words have. I'll tell you two things, and I'm going to go quickly with this, family. Two things to stick with me that have always stuck with me. It was a quote. I'm paraphrasing, so walk with me. Bruce Lee. He said, "Be careful what you even say to yourself, because the body doesn't know the difference." And your body will process those words that you say to yourself. When he was talking about, saying different things, when you're talking about complimenting or insulting yourself, when, be careful what you say to even yourself. So if your words are even that powerful to you, imagine how powerful they are to another human being.
Absolutely.
And something else that always stayed with me is the story of the three frogs. I'm not sure if you're familiar, if anybody's familiar with that. You know what? It's not even necessary. But in any event, the bottom line is that words have power. Y'all know me. I'll talk about it. So should we share the video once again? All right, here we go, family. Let's go back in. Wait, let me find it. Oh, there it is. There it is. Here we go.
A very deep question to ask non-Black people, people of color, whether you're Asian, Hispanic, or white. Why haven't you embraced your racial slur that applies to your race or ethnicity like Black people have? Why do you insist on saying my or using the N-word amongst each other or around other Black people? Because it's 2024, and here on Google, you can find on Wikipedia a list of ethnic slurs that applies to your race and ethnicity. And I would share all of them that I found, but, we're on TikTok. And the people at Wikipedia, they even put it in alphabetical order for you. And I thought about this question because I was on the bus the other day. There were a whole bunch of Hispanic teenagers that came on the bus, and immediately they started saying my N-word this, my N-word that to each other. Like, why aren't they saying my and that lame excuse as to why you use the N-word is so tired. The one that you say, oh, well, I was raised around Black people. Well, if you want to use that logic, those Black people were raised around you. So the same way you can use the N-word around them, they should be able to use your racial slur around you. And I challenge Black people who have Asians, white people, and Hispanic friends that use the N-word to ask them, why are they so uncomfortable using the racial slur that applies to their race and ethnicity, but they're very comfortable using the racial slur that applies to you?
And there you have it. Yeah, I kept pushing. Wait, I was pushing the button and nothing was happening. And there we have it. And there we have it. And there we have it. So I'd say the bottom line is that we have to do better. The bottom line. And I believe we're all in agreement with that, but we definitely have to do better. And I did see the comment, I think it was Malcolm, especially now. MAGAs are coming for us. That was how he put it. But especially now with what's coming down the pipe. I love, like Joanne commented, I can remember being young. If someone would call you Black, that was an insult too. Really? So what was the proper, what was a proper reference or term or
African American, I'm assuming?
I thought that was like a more modern way of referring to us.
Well, yeah, I don't know her age range, but
okay. And Pastor Black shares that the power of life and death are in the tongue. Absolutely. Absolutely. Joey Dixon shares that Dick Gregory wrote a book and called N-word, and it sold quite well. Well, I'm curious to know, I'm going to have to look that book up to see what exactly Dick Gregory wrote in that book. just to, if anybody's familiar, please let us know in the moments that we do have left. But since we do have a minute left, I'm going to share with you the story I was going to share earlier, just a moment ago, about the three frogs. Those who are unfamiliar, it stayed with me since I was a little girl. I read this story about three frogs hopping along. They fell into a ditch. They kept trying to get out of the ditch, trying to hop out of the ditch. These other frogs, another group of frogs, came along and were shouting down into the ditch. The one frog, he gave up and he died. The second frog, he kept trying, and then he eventually gave up and died. The third frog kept trying, and he jumped out. He got out, and all of the other frogs who were shouting down were looking at him in amazement. And he said, "What?" We're like, "What?" And they said, Didn't you hear us? Didn't you hear us?" And he said, "No, what? Yeah, you were encouraging me, weren't you?" And they said, "No, we were telling you to give up. We were telling you to give up and die." And he said, "Well, I'm deaf. I couldn't hear you. I thought you were encouraging me. So it pushed me to jump out." So that stayed with me. I read that as a young child. My mother would always give me stories for encouragement. And that always stayed with me from a little girl, about the power of words, about the power of the tongue, about the power of speaking to yourself and pouring into yourself and to other people. So I wanted to share that with you. Family. Go ahead, Dr. Z. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was saying that was a great story. That's a great analogy.
Thank you so much, as always, Dr. Z. Look, giving me, I need a woosah moment now.
Yes.
You know, I gotta calm myself down. Family. Oh my goodness, here we are. But at the root of it all, we're going to continue to praise God from whom all blessings flow, Lord. And praise God from whom all blessings flow. Yes, we do, all day, every day. I'm going to ask you to pray for someone who does not yet know God. Pray for your loved ones. Pray for your enemies and for those in need. Please. I thank our guests, as always, Dr. Z. I thank Hillary Doe for sharing your time, your energy, your attention, your knowledge, your spirit, your space. Dr. Z, you're not even your family. You're not a guest. I don't even know why I said that. My brain. Sending extra love once again to Tyrone for the loss of his sister. Special thanks to the entire Word family, especially Nick and Niall, for all that you do. Happy birthday to all of our love lights who are celebrating. Remember, we are all in this together. So be good to you, but please be good to those around you. God loves you, and so do I. Yes, he does. Have a great rest of your night and an awesome weekend, family. And be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Have a great weekend, family. Love you.